Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Real Life, Real Love with me, Sarah Michelle, and Hayley Henderson. Today, we're going to be talking about feminine communication and how you can communicate in your feminine with a masculine partner. It is pretty important that you're doing this with a masculine partner. So if you try to implement any of the stuff that we end up talking about today, and it doesn't work so well with the person you're with already, you might have to have a different starting point, talk to them more, or just recognize that they might not be the right person to do this with. Because it's a lot of the communication we're taught growing up and then definitely through dating advice is masculine. And most people are used to being communicated with through their masculine, through everyone using their masculine. So being direct, telling them what they want. Like, how many times have you heard guys complain, "We're not a mind reader. You need to tell us what you want." Okay, this is true. But there's more ways to tell a man what you want than buy me flowers for my birthday. I need flowers for my birthday. I want flowers for my birthday. In a feminine way of communicating that you want flowers, it's in enjoying flowers. Buy yourself flowers and talk about how much you enjoy flowers. Anytime you're gifted flowers, make sure you're talking about how much you enjoy the flowers. I said make sure you're talking about it. Should come naturally. Yeah. But that's how you're communicating it, because what a masculine man will see is, she loves flowers. Damn, every time she's around flowers, she just lights up. And I love the way she lights up when she's around flowers and gets all giddy. I'm going to give her flowers because I want her to be getting giddy about the flowers that came from me. It's going to be a natural progression, but you're not going to have to walk in and be like, Valentine's Day is coming up this year. I want flowers.
It's an expression, because when you're in your feminine and you're around somebody who wants to, like that traditional would provide, if you express your love and compassion and excitement and gratitude about something, example, I love pink, and everybody in my life knows I love pink without me saying it, because I have pink things. I literally squeal and jump up and down, or if I see something, I'm like, it's pink, should I buy it? I don't know. It's just my daily thing. And so when somebody will, yesterday, I got a really beautiful gift from my work colleagues, and it was a beautiful set of pink flute champagnes. Literally, it's got a pink tinge to it with butterflies on it. And I opened it, I was like, oh my God, they're pink. And they're like, of course. But I've had to say, I love pink. My desk trays, my in trays are pink. My folder is pink. I got some rose gold container for all my pens and all my clips. Everything is like a shade of pink on my desk. And I've got a couple other colors and stuff, but it's expressed in the way that I live. And so in context of dating and relationships and being around men, a guy that I dated once bought me this beautiful pink dress that I wanted. My best friend was getting married, and it was going to be a winter wedding. And she told me she was getting married. She told me it happened to be my birthday when he proposed. And then we started planning things, and I panicked. And it was so fascinating, because I thought, oh my God, she's not going to ask me to be a bridesmaid. I was like, oh my God, how did I assume I was going to be? And I had this mental breakdown with myself where I was like, I'm not that kind of person. And I was like, so how am I going to feel better about this? Because, as we talked about in these episodes, it's about feeling your best about stuff. And I was like, for my best friend's wedding, I'm just going to create a Pinterest board. It's going to be a winter wedding, and I'm just going to start pinning things that I really like. So for me, clothes are expression. So I start putting together how I'm going to feel, what it's going to look like. I love summer. I hate winter. We were just talking about it before. I am not a fan of winter, cold here. And so I started putting together stuff because it was going to be hard. And I just happened to express this to this guy that I started dating, and he bought me this dress because I'd looked at it, and I like clothes. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm looking at these boots. Oh my God, I'm looking at this. I'm not necessarily buying them. And I saw this $250 dress, and I was like, it is beautiful, hot pink, spaghetti straps. It's an Australian designer. The way it sat around the bodice, was designed for my body frame. Floor lengths, it's fully lined. And I was like, oh my God, this might be it, or I need to make something similar. The next week he comes over and he holds my hand, and I didn't know he'd put like stuff in my room, brings me to my room, and he's like, points to the bed, and I was like, oh my God. And I can't say, how did you know? Because I knew, I knew. But I was like, you crazy? Oh my God, no, I just want to wear it. And it's just because it's an expression of the way that I live. And I just share with people like what lights me up all the time, just naturally. Because people, they like it as well. They may be like, oh my God, I'm going to get the same thing. Or because we talk about, you know, that information exchange, if I express how I'm feeling or what I'm going through or what excites me or what projects I'm working on, because I'm always working on something, sometimes that other person has that vital information that's like a piece to your puzzle. They might be like, hey, I know that you're looking for that dress because I was looking for a specific dress that I could no longer get my hands on. And I didn't want to make it myself because I can pattern, draft, and sew, but I don't want it. I just want to buy it. And I had shared that with people because I was like, I am struggling. And it's so important, I think, and stepping into this, you know, the changes that are going on in the world and there are sustainable relationships we want. And being in your feminine is that word. It is being yourself. It is expressing yourself. It is being excited. It is being happy. It's allowing emotions and being receptive of whatever it is. And a man who's sort of your match on that, you're like inviting him to like come along and do the thing, like come along and buy the dress. I didn't ask. Oh my God. I was like, I had no words because I was like, oh my God, like jumped up and down, like leaped into his arms. And I was like, oh my God. And I can't even wear it for a few months. And I was like, should I just wear it anyway? And, you know, so for him, he just stood there and he's like, just the biggest smile I think I ever seen on his face, you know? And it was just this natural way of me being me. And then he just went, oh, I can buy that. And then I'll just surprise her and she's going to have no idea. And when you're dating somebody, this is the exact thing that you can do. And you may, if you like dresses or handbags, get some dresses or handbags.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I think about feminine communication, like you said, it's like just your natural way of being. I also think about expressing through emotion. So you can verbally say what you're feeling, but you can just express it too. Like just showing your disappointment. Or I was actually sitting with someone recently and I kept taking my bracelet on and off, and I would take it off and it has crystals on it. So then I would sit there and I'd twirl the beads and then I'd put it back on and then I'd pull it off and I'd twirl the beads and whatever. And finally he just asked me, he's like, what are you anxious about? And I was like, I'm not anxious. Why do you think I'm anxious? And he's like, well, because you're twirling those beads so hard, I'm surprised they still exist. But it's like that's feminine communication too. It wasn't necessarily intentional, but it was very, you know, and he's trying to figure it out because the masculine solves. That's the other thing is like you're trying to express where you're at, but you're not telling him how to solve it, because when you do, when you step into telling him what to do, then unless he's asking you, like if you're in a long-term relationship and he's just like, I can see you're upset. What do you need from me? Okay, he's invited that in. He's not going to feel emasculated when you step in and tell him what you need. But if you're constantly telling him what to do, it makes him feel like, well, what's the use? Like she doesn't think I'm smart enough to figure this out on my own. And that might not be a conscious level thing. It could totally be a subconscious energy between the two of you, which just leads to bad crap. But that's really technical term, bad crap. But anyway, I always think about that when I'm communicating. But I will say, like, we started this episode, I think, talking about how there's no real rules. In the feminine, you want to be with your intuition and you want to be feeling your way through it. And I wanted to talk about that because, as I've mentioned in other episodes, I teach human design. And so for me, I'm a manifester, and manifestors are supposed to communicate through informing, which turns out to be a very masculine energy. So I always have to be present to myself and figure out like, where is it right for me to step into that manifestor side of who I am and make sure that I'm informing? Because when I'm not informing and I'm letting other people lead, it's a very easy way for me to get out of alignment. So I can really only let the people I truly trust to know what's good for me lead. Which is fine in like a romantic relationship, right? Because we're getting to know each other and I'll slowly open up to that. But there's also times where like I want to be in my feminine. I don't want to be informing and doing that stuff for the reasons that I just said, like I don't want to be emasculating to the other person. I don't want to be in charge. I don't want to have to figure it out. I want to feel my feelings and let somebody else figure it out. In fact, I actually have an example that made me feel super adored. I was with a guy one time and we were laying in bed and I don't know what he said to me. I feel like a lot of my examples come from when we were laying in bed. I'm such a cuddler. Anyway, I changed the tone of my voice as I was talking to him because I kind of got like, for 3 seconds, I got whiny. And he said, "Were you about to throw a tantrum there?" And I just kind of laughed because I was like, yeah, actually, I was really upset about that. But it made me feel super adored because of how present he was, how aware he was of how that tone of my voice changed, even though I kind of like cycled through my own emotions there on my own without any need for help. It just made me feel good to have him recognize that and also not have him be one of those guys that was like, I don't want a drama queen and I don't want these women who are all emotional and all these sort of things. It was just a part of who I am and he was totally cool with that. So I got off on a tangent there and I don't think I wrapped up with where I started, but I guess I'll let it go. I'm trying to remember why I started saying that. It was something about, anyway, we can move on. Masculine, feminine, communication. What did I want to say? Maybe I'll turn it back to you. Do you have any good examples of when you've been able to be in your feminine with a guy and communicate well?
One thing I know is the clothes that you wear will then tell him, because he's a visual person. People forget. And this is one thing, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I've learned so much about it, because a lot of my life, I am, like you said before, I make all the decisions and I just don't want to make all the decisions. And I want to, create this environment where, because by default, I have to structure and put things in a specific way. And I can be quite forward. And I'm the oldest in the family. I moved country by myself. I've done so many things that are like that forward driving thing. So when you wear clothes, and then remembering that men are visual creatures, when you wear clothes like on a date, if you wear like the colors that you and I are wearing right now, communicate softness, gentleness. These are like cotton candy, beautiful, sweet colors. Whereas if you wear like red lips, red earrings, red nails, red bag, red dress, black jacket, that is like in your face. And it is because it's that power color. So this situation, like if you were going to go karting, totally, then it's going to be like that fun play on. He's going to be like, oh my gosh, are you going to win? Because you're wearing colors that are going to communicate, I am here to win. Whereas if I turned up wearing like a light pink or a light purple frilly kind of dress to go-karts, he's going to be like, I'm going to win. Because your outfit is communicating like this subtle emotional frequency. And so if you're going to go on a date and like even just, we've talked about just gentle coffee dates or just like a wine date or something, depends on the situation. I will not wear super strong, like sharp color lines, like structured patterns, bold, like black and white stripes, or a full black outfit, or all red, or the pinkest pink, because it's very intense and it's really structural. It's very informative if I'm leading. Whereas I want to see if he can lead. And I don't want to make all the decisions. So I'm going to turn out wearing something apricot or like nice and fluffy pink or white, something that's just, it's there, it's nice, it's subtle. I don't look like I'm going to make all the decisions, and I'm just going to sit there and it's going to communicate to him a specific message. And I don't have to tell him, because visually he just went, got it. Like if you wear soft pink, he is going to be like, sweet. I mean, you could throw it down. So like you could turn up to go-karts wearing soft pink and be like, yeah, you're going to win. No. So like it can be that fun as well. And you get to have this fun with your clothes, and that men are visual creatures, and you get to show up wearing clothes that you like and communicating a specific message and seeing if he's receptive, which is the other thing, you know. And this at this point in time in dating and having failed relationships and marriages and getting to a point where you're trying to figure it out, which is these conversations, trying to figure out, is this the right person for me? Are they going to waste my time? So you can use things like, if I have a headstrong life, but I'm going to show up wearing like a soft pastel purple, what is his reaction going to be? Is he still going to be like in the conversation? And that's going to provide information that you can then go, okay, well, I'm wearing a really cute outfit, I'm really feeling my best, and he's just talking about his ex the whole time, and drum with the kids and all this stuff at work. And it can feel very heavy because you're receptive, you're available, you've consciously chosen your outfit, and you're just, who is this person? What is this space between us? What is this kind of communicating? And what is this really meaning? Like, is he here with me, or is he just trying to like fill a quota or something, which happens sadly.
Well, as you're talking about the clothing and stuff, it really made me start to think about some of the different ways I communicate non-verbally, which I also consider to be feminine communication because it's indirect.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had men comment on that. Like, I appreciate the way you moved my hand over here. So because I didn't know what to do, or stuff like that. So what I'm thinking about is, like, for example, if I want to be cuddled, it's not, when I was married and I wanted to be cuddled, it was like why don't you ever cuddle me? You know what I mean? Like, it was aggressive. It was abrasive. It immediately put him into a place where he felt like he needed to defend himself, instead of being like what I know to do now, which is, if I know that I want to be cuddled, I'll climb right into his lap. I mean, of course, if he responds and is like not in the mood for cuddling or whatever, then we adjust to whatever the situation is. But most of the time, right, the person you're dating is receptive to that sort of stuff. Or like if you're sitting there, like if I'm sitting in the car and I'm like, dang, I want to hold his hand, you know, I don't sit there and get all grumpy because he's not reaching over and holding my hand. And I don't say anything either. Like, I'll reach over and grab his hand, right? I say grab, but like, I'll do it gently in a polite way. You know, I'm not like, take your hand off the wheel, hold mine, it's more important. But, you know, like, I do communicate that way. When you were talking about clothing, I'm still learning all the color stuff from you. Basically, the way that I do it is more like, how do I want to feel? And then when I've dated someone long enough that I know their favorites, I'll do those sort of things. So if it's a night where, like, I know for sure I want to feel sexy and I want to be intimate and that sort of stuff, like, I'm going to put on an outfit that I know that they love, that they're going to be like, oh, I love it when you put that on. I can't wait to see you in it, that sort of thing. Because it's playful. It feels good to me. It doesn't feel like, sometimes women will get grumpy because they'll be like, oh, you should dress for yourself and not for your man. Okay, well, there's a certain truth to that, because like, I'm not going to put something on my body I don't like or I'm not comfortable in for him. But if it's already my clothes, it's something I've picked out and I love, and it just happens to be something he also loves, I will definitely put that on for a date night. It's like a little gift. It's like a little way of gifting to him, you know? And it feels fun and simple.
People, like, I know that people can get upset. Sorry, I live and feel like I'm gonna, like, oh, it's tickling my throat and I don't know what happened. It's, people like will say, oh, you know, don't dress for other people or don't dress for him. Why not? And, like, at the end of the day, I think, especially because it's like my thing that I care about, what are the other things that you were going to do in a relationship that you would do for him or with him? You'll have sex. You'll want him to orgasm. You will make dinner together or make dinner for him or drive and pick him up, or like, why are your clothes not allowed to be in the same category? I know that there are taboo topics and other things that people like will have a lot to say about, like in terms of dressing and stuff. But at the same point in time, if you are dating or in a relationship with a man and he likes those clothes and you do too, and you already paid for them and earned all the things, why is it weird that you would want to look your best and you're going to feel so amazing? And he's going to see that and he's going to be like, "Oh, this can get better." I mean, like if you wear your favorite outfit and you feel like the best you've ever felt, you know, your makeup is on point, your body feels amazing, your outfit is the most incredible, sexy thing. Like you feel nothing can get better. And his brain is like, how about an orgasm? Like this could get so much better. And you're already at a peak. So you can only go higher. I mean, with the right person, obviously, but it can only get better. And you already thought this was it. So you can keep, and these are those moments together with this person that you go higher. You go higher than you've ever been in the past because you set yourself up for success. Like, you know, we've talked about in a previous episode, like setting your man up for success. People are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Why not? Relationships about being together. It's about the space between you. And why is it weird that I would want to participate? Why is it weird that I would love him to be happy? Like if he looks at me like I'm a snack, okay, I could be a snack. Like, why is this like people getting upset? Like, oh, you know, and like, don't I get it? I know what it's like, you know, from the minute that I was 15 and I got breasts and I all of a sudden had hips, you know, I had men yelling at me down the road, like telling me literally, you're just tits on a stick, like, because I'm quite skinny. So, like, I have been harassed my whole life. Like, I have been skinny shamed. I've had people have so many judgments on my body, what I wear, how it functions, blah, blah, blah. But at the same point in time, this is still yours. Like, despite what those people say or don't say, you're still 100% in charge of how you feel. The person that, like, when you have those energetic feelings in clothes or not in clothes, that's still yours, despite what people have said in the past, despite what pains and dramas there are. And this is one of the things that I do with every single client. We talk about your confidence and you're feeling sexy and the style that you've got. The clothes are just clothes. They are an expression, but it's an incoherent message. If you feel like rubbish, it doesn't matter what brand you put on or what color. It has to be in alignment because we know when somebody else is feeling their best. Men know when we're feeling our best. They know if we constantly put on clothes and we're self-loathing and we just think, you know, I just feel rubbish, I'm tired, my tummy, whatever is the thing, they pick up on that and that it affects them because they're in this with us, whether it's a person you just met on a date, they're looking at you as though, can we share things? Could we do things? Like it's a team thing. And this is like the I don't know. I mean, there's ways you can say this is a misconception. There is interesting information and people want to bag about it, but I think it's important because for you to long term date and have a relationship and be sustainable, you have to participate. You want him to be happy. And if all you need to do for him to be happy is you just be your best self, you control this body that you're in because you can't control him. And that's all you do. You just take care of this like little square property here. And then he gets all the goodies and then you get the goodies because he's so happy. And you just end up with this like loving, joyful relationship. Is it that bad? I mean, some information I think is like pitting each other against each other. Men and women should not be against each other. Like, if you want to have a relationship, you got to be on the same team. You got to be both going for the same orgasm. You know, we can't be going for different things. It's not going to work.
That's a good point because the more you give, the more you receive. And I think where some of that advice comes from is people who are giving from a depleted space, or people who are doing things by, I want to say, cutting off parts of themselves. Does that make sense? Like by being inauthentic. But when
Mhm.
you're showing up authentically as yourself and you're giving from a space of love, which is infinite. So you've got that supply, like you're the divine feminine. You've got that divine love flowing through you. It's infinite. When you're doing that, like he just wants to gift back to you. And then you get into this cycle of each of you just wanting to gift to each other because you feel so loved and appreciated. It's overflowing and you're happy and ready to give it naturally. And it just keeps going. It's not from this place that unfortunately a ton of us experience when we're feeling depleted and resentful, and other things that can start to happen when we get into long-term relationships and feel underappreciated or maybe not appreciated at all, or not seen, not understood. Then we get into those feelings and we obviously don't want to give from that space, which makes sense, but you have to take time to decide, okay, is this the relationship that I want? Okay, well, then one of us has to put on our big girl panties, big boy panties, whatever, and be the first to give. Somebody's got to start the cycle if it's not currently going.
Mhm.
Obviously, easier to have that early on in a relationship when you've got all that natural beginning chemistry and desire to get to know each other and please each other than it is later on in the relationship when you do have more of that resentment built up, or potentially, I should say, you potentially have more of that built up because not everybody has to get to that point. But I'm sure that if you're someone in your 30s or 40s or beyond, you've been in a relationship, if not a marriage, where you've had that play out. And you know just how hard that cycle is to break out of. Sometimes impossible because the other person isn't willing to break out of the cycle with you.
Mhm.
Um,
And it's going to be different, and this is why it is important to like have conversations like we do, and this is why we do have this show, because the future's going to be different, and it's going to be a little bit of learning, and it's going to be a lot of feeling, and it's going to be stepping into different ways and different zones. And if you've been in a relationship in the past where somebody, heaven forbid, judged you on your mummy tummy, or judged you on the weight you have or don't have, like, your next relationship doesn't have to be like that. And sometimes, like, the I had a coach say this a while ago, and it still rings out of my mind where I'm like, oh, this is so annoying. It's like the thing that you want is normally the thing you've got to input to get more of what you want. Like if you want more money, you often have to invest. If you want to have more time, you need to do something with your time. Like it's not like you need something else outside of that. So if in a relationship you struggled with your body or showing up or clothes or style or whatever thing was painful, that's the thing to work on, not avoid. Like don't cover it up. Work on it. Talk to somebody. Talk to this loving man that's in front of you. Like if you're going to be in a relationship, he's going to be a loving man. Like if this is how this is going to work out. And there's no reason why you can't invite him straight away to talk to you about things that like you may struggle with, or you may have struggled in the past, or things that you would like to change. Like because as you said earlier, like men are fixers. They're like doing things. They're problem solvers. Like anytime you take something to him, he thinks it's a problem and you just wanted to rant. But there are things that you can be like, hey, I didn't want to wear that dress because my stomach sticks out and my ex was always really nasty about it. Or this is like the stretch marks on my breasts, and my ex used to get really mean about it, like my ex did. And I was really self-conscious about it for so long. And typically men will respond in the most surprising ways because this is your pain. And if you just vulnerably say that, like, I know it's hard, but at the end of the day, if you say that, there's nothing this man can do that can actually make it worse. It's already happened. The only thing that you can ask for is he will just be like, "Huh," out, like, it's not my thing. Or he's going to like put his arms around you. He's going to say nice things, and it's going to help heal through something that somebody else created in the past. We participate in our own wound, but when they're created in a relationship, often to heal them, it's in a relationship too, because it was somebody else who like attacked you And sometimes to fix that, it's what it's like when somebody doesn't attack you over this thing. When somebody just appreciates like your mummy boobies or whatever is the drama that you're like feeling the most like pain and resistance and struggle with. And a man's reaction sometimes just looking into their eyes can just be enough where you just think, oh, um, what? Can you repeat that? What? Like, and it'll be nice. And you know, he's seen such a vulnerable side of you. He's seen how brave and courageous you are. You may not feel brave and courageous. I did a post on my social media a few weeks ago. Somebody was like, "You're always so brave," and I was like, "I'm not. I just do stuff, and I do it scared all the time. I don't. I've got a resting bitch face, which helps." Most of the time, and I wear clothes suited to the occasion because I know sometimes you just got to get dressed and you just got to turn up. It doesn't mean to say that I'm feeling my best, but I'm like, come on, feelings, let's go. Let's get on board. Let's like fix do something. And it's amazing what can happen when you just try and you just be available to that next level, because this is what we're after. Like this is what we're after in these conversations and in dating and relationships and success long term, is that next level, is that different thing. It's nothing like the past. And sometimes you have to like, the subject that you're hurt on is the subject that's going to fix it, which is shit, we know. But that bravery gets rewarded, especially by somebody who sees you as their equal. And these are the things that you can't script out. However, that person reacts, and then your experience of their reaction gives you the information to know if he's a nice guy and you like him and you would like him to get closer to your face and kiss you. Or if you're like, sweet, you can stay over there and pay for my coffee and I'll just not talk to you again. Like, it gives you the information you need, and no script from a dating coach is ever going to tell you how that reaction should or shouldn't be, because it's based on your feelings, and your feelings are going to only be relevant based on what you share with this person and their reaction. It can't be a green flag or a red flag. It's going to be an emotion that nobody can predict because it's healing.
Yeah. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. But I think that's right, is we're trying to tell you all that you don't need a script. And also, I hope you heard early on how I talked about what feminine communication was, but I also talked about how I use my own intuition for when I step into more of a masculine communication and why I step into it. So it's not black and white or hard and fast, which is one of the reasons why you can't script this sort of stuff and why you really need to be in tune with yourself and in tune with your partner and what the desired outcome is. Like, really, your goal together is the biggest determinator of what's going on, right? Because there are going to be points where you need to communicate in your masculine, and that's okay. The important thing is that if you are, that you learn how to do it in a way that's respectful and kind to your partner, so that it doesn't come off as you taking charge and being emasculating. And I want to like hear those things together, taking charge and being emasculating. There's going to be points where you need to or want to take charge. And being in charge doesn't automatically mean you're emasculating, or just because you want to be in your feminine majority of the time in your relationship doesn't mean you can never be in charge. But if you take charge and emasculate at the same time, that causes a lot of damage. And that's hard to come back from, because you're letting him know you don't trust his leadership, that you don't respect his leadership, which is also like, think of what's making his leadership, like his intelligence and his, I want to say history, like life experiences and all these things that he's bringing together to make decisions in that moment. You're not respecting any of that. So that's what we want to try to avoid, is that stuff that hurts each other. So whatever needs to come out of it, if you are in your feminine enough to be in touch with your own intuition, you'll be able to have whatever conversation you need to have. You'll be able to navigate it however you need to navigate it. Even if, like in my case, I'll get really emotional. So a lot of times what I need to be able to do is like step back, have a few moments to myself, maybe even literally step out of the room, have space for myself. But I know that, and I request it when I need it. like there's no script, as we keep saying. So thank you for joining us today. We hope you appreciated the episode. If you have any questions or want to let us know what is your biggest challenge communicating with your partner, please leave a comment below and we'll be happy to discuss it in a future episode. And be sure to subscribe so that you get every video. We've got another one coming up next week, and we'll see you then. Thanks for joining us.